How are we doing, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin. I've got an album review for you, and it's an unusual one for me. This is Avenged Sevenfold, Life is But a Dream. Now, if there is one thing that's more annoying than your favourite band releasing a shit album, it's a band you don't like releasing a really good album. I've never really been... I remember there was a time when it was really, really trendy to hate Avenged Sevenfold. And I think Tom Araya from Slayer saying in an interview that they sucked didn't help. I always kind of had a... I never hated them. I just wasn't into them, if you know what I mean. And I was actually at Avenged Sevenfold's first UK... well, I don't know if it was the first UK show, but first London show. So their first UK tour. And that was for the Wake the Fallen album. Excuse me. And they're a very different band to what they became. They were sort of the sort of Johnny Come Latelys really to that whole metalcore scene. What went on to become metalcore, and I was right into that at the time. What sort of came out of the hardcore scenes. So, you know, what sort of started with Vision Disorder, went on to like the Trustkill Records bands like Poison the Well and 18 Visions. Then you had like your Dillinger Escape Plans and all that. And yeah, it seemed like they were a very melodic. They kind of had one foot in more traditional metal. And they kind of had like a bit of a goth thing coming on. They were kind of like a metal AFI, really. It was pretty evident then that Mike Shadows was a very good singer. And then City of Evil came out, and they had like, you know, it was wearing like a bandana with a cap over the top of it, and he had gold teeth, and they'd kind of gone like full Guns N' Roses, and I don't know, I just didn't get it. I was just like, are they being ironic? Yeah, and I kind of just faded out, really. They got, I don't know, they just became a band that it was like really, it was easy for other bands to kick them around as well. I remember Rob Flynn having a pop at them because their album that they had out at the time was like a rip-off of Metallica or something. Like, he's fucking one to talk. But there was a song, Hail to the King. It was like, no, you can't deny this. This is a tune. When that opening riff, it just worked, that song, and I was like, "Who's this?" And this is Avenged Sevenfold. Oh, off the back of this, I've gone back and listened to a couple of albums as well. I listened to City of Evil. I still, I was thinking, is the penny gonna drop and I'm gonna like become an Avenged Sevenfold fan? Nah, that album's very bloated, I thought. And there's so much that goes on in all the songs. The songs are really long, but it's all just, you know. And there's just so many different sections. And yeah, I just felt, make it breathe a bit more. But I was, funny enough, I listened to City of Evil and I listened to the self-titled album that came after it with a white cover. So Avenged Sevenfold. And there was actually some songs in there I recognised. But anyway, I'm not a fan of Avenged Sevenfold, and I started seeing reviews of this coming out, and when I first saw the artwork, I thought they'd like reissued an old demo or something, but I started seeing some bits coming about, and then a mate of mine said, "Have you heard Avenged Sevenfold's new albums?" I was like, no, what's the fuss about? And he's like, "You've got to listen to it." He went, "It's everything." People are caning it. He went, and everything they're caning it for, it is. But that's why it's great. You just got to listen to it. He's like, all the songs are just wacky, but for all the right reasons. You got to, and then I watched a review. I forget the guy's channel, and he was pretty much in the same boat as I was. He was like, I'm not a fan of this band at all, but I'm completely hooked by this album. I saw the hype and the backlash and the sort of And what he did, he compared, I think it was a Anthony Fantano video, where Anthony Fantano just caned it. And then there was this other guy, he's like this musician that like does a lot of, I think like playthroughs and that, and I think he did this famous stream where he made a Megadeth album in a day. And this guy gave it 10 out of 10. And he went like, look at the polarizing reviews, but they're both saying the same thing about the album. But one, you know, it either works for you or it doesn't. And I just got fascinated with the album. I just got to the point where I couldn't stop listening to it, and I still haven't. You know, I love this album. I think it's great. They're very influenced by Mr. Bungle on it. It's got to be said. But I think it's I should look up some. I should probably do a bit more research. But I'm normally good at stuff like that. But I'm doing this completely off the cuff. I should have a look and see if I've seen Mike Shadows is on some podcasts and whatnot. I think this is a concept album. It would make a lot of sense if it was. It plays like a Genesis album, you know, like The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Apparently that album's got a story. I can never make head or tail of it. It's got like this sort of psychedelic... I would have thought it's about someone that wakes up in the land of the dead and how do they get out sort of thing, or they're trapped in a dream. Kind of like the same thing with Crack the Sky, my Mastodon, where the person astro projects but ends up getting... You've got like an umbilical cord, like a cord that keeps you to your body, but the cord snaps, so he's now lost in the... anyway. But yeah, it... it's got heavy stuff on it. There's, some crushing metal on this, but then it just goes into like a musical. It's the best way I can describe it. Think, and you're picturing it in your mind, and it's playing out. I can imagine this grand, majestic stage setting where they're playing the album in full, sort of thing, and maybe acting the album out in some way. So it'd be like Game Over actually starts a lot like, reminded me of the System of a Down song. He's doing a lot of rapid vocal lines, and then it goes into like this big chorus, and then it goes into like all flutes and playing like a Electric Light Orchestra album or something like that, and then there'll be like a nice sung bit, and it'll be all grand and orchestral, and then just go bang back into the metal again. Metal, I think that is Mattel. I don't know what the second track's called or how you pronounce it, but it starts off with this, and it's pummeling. It's good. And then it just goes into this big majestic, I've smelled the plastic daisies. Let's look up the lyrics, because I don't know them. Here it is. Oh, come on, help me out. It's the right song, isn't it? Yes. Now, I know this might sound crazy, but I've smelt the plastic daisies. Yeah, I was right. And it seems we've found ourselves in hell. Yeah, there you go. And again, it's like, this big musical number. And then the Nobody, that's a tune. Where it's got like this industrial... It's got this real cool groove to it. And a really cool chorus as well, sung over it. And that's got a really cool video as well, with all these skeletons walking through this village. We Love You as well. This is where we're into Mr. Bungle territory. That song I think We Love You, a lot of it really, thinking of it. Easier. Definitely We Love You and Easier. You could find on Disco... I've got it down here. Disco Volante, is it? It is the second Mr. Bungle album. It's down there, but I ain't getting down there to get it. I think they're definitely listening to a lot of Mr. Bungle and a lot of Faith No More on this. And it's got that crazy song structures, and it's like loads of little mini songs tacked together to make one big song. But all of it is catchy. All of it is memorable, and There's another one. Da, 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 there you'll find me. Da, 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 da. I can't remember where it goes now, but yeah, it's you get these melodies just stuck in your head, and you find yourself singing them. Cosmic, I've got the beautiful little melodic solo bit at the beginning of the song, and then it goes really crazy and heavy at the end. All the songs on there are good though, and then it ends. Well, you got you see there, God. It spells. Oh, there. That's like a 3-part song, and I can't remember if it's ordinary or deaf. It's like a funk song. You know, it sounds like it's been written by Noel Rodgers. And I think with Mike Shadows being as good a singer he is, that it gives them license to be more versatile because his voice he can apply it to anything really. And then it closes with this nice piano instrumentals, literally just piano. It's about 4.5 minute song, just on the piano, and it's really nice and dramatic. But yeah, I mean, you can still be surprised, folks. Who knows? You know, a band that you're not really into, you thought you've figured them out, and they go and drop an album that you end up loving. You know, and yeah, like I say, I can't stop listening to this album, and it's just really intriguing and as wacky and bombastic and mad and out there as it sounds on that first initial listen. Stick with it; it rewards repeated listens. It does make more sense the more you listen to it. I would say though, and again, this is with the concept album. You need to listen to the whole album in full. A lot of these songs, they probably don't work individually. I think this is where a lot of people are going wrong with it. I think they're just picking certain songs and going, what's this all about? No, you've got to listen to it as a whole in full, and it'll make a lot more sense. But think Buffy the Vampire Slayer, think Tim Burton, think a gothic, comic booky, spooky, ghouly, gothic-y, crazy musical setting. And it's like, this is the soundtrack to that animated, gothic, Tim Burton-y, wacky film. But yeah, it's really good. Put it that way. It's definitely worth a try. And people that are writing it off, you know, I just don't think they get it. It's simple as that, really. So yeah, a nice surprise, something a bit different. So I've got a few reviews coming up. I've got some stuff turning up tomorrow, which I'm probably gonna do another video tomorrow. But yeah, this completely caught me off guard, and I thought I'd share it with you. So have you heard it? What, are you an Avenged Sevenfold fan? Oh, that was one thing I want to say. A lot of people are saying like how crazy, and they've gone prog, or they've gone this and they've gone that. When I listen to City of Evil, the hints were there, and on the last 2 songs of Avenged Sevenfold, the 2007 album, there's a lot of experimentation, and there's like a country song on there, and there was a song again that was like a musical. I don't get why long-term fans are so surprised by this, because it seems to me like the early signs are definitely for this. The signs are there on City of Evil. Definitely they are. And it just seems to me on this, every so often a band does that. They'll have an element of their sounds that isn't that predominant, but they'll just, for one album, just completely, let's just explore this element and just take it as far as we can go with it and just see what happens. And I think you'll find that with Avenged Sevenfold. I think you're going to find they're going to maybe, well, it depends how successful this album is, but you'll probably find they'll do this for another album or so and then come back full circle to, I don't know, what's considered their classic City of Evil, I suppose, or I doubt they'll go back to the Wake the Fallen and the album before it. I doubt they'll go back to that, but maybe City of Evil and Avenged Sevenfold, maybe they'll go back to that, applying what they've learned with this and whatever else they do, what they've learned from doing that, they'll come back to it and apply it. So that's what normally happens anyway with these bands with long back catalogues. But yeah, They've not done bad, have they? I mean, like I say, I saw them in the Underworld. What was that? A couple of hundred capacity. So, yeah, hats off to them. I'm really enjoying this. I'm just banging on there, and so I'm gonna finish. Yeah. Are you a fan? How do you think this sits in their catalogue? Are you not a fan? And has this blindsided you, just like it has me? Let me know what you think. Give me a comment. Give me one of them. Give me a subscribe if you're new to the channel. Welcome aboard. And yeah, I'll see you all soon. Take care.